Hello, today is March 15th, 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions for Monday. I also think it's important to look at how Friday's rally has affected the longer-term picture. This is my trading plan for Monday. Remember, it's a plan. I can change my plan. My plan can be wrong, and trade at your own risk. I've had a number of people recently ordered my webinar. The instructions are on the first page. It would help me a lot if you'd send me a Gmail address if you want to order it. PayPal used to send me a Gmail address, or at least some kind of address, when the orders came in, but lately they haven't been doing that, and I'm not always certain where to send the webinar to. A real treat this week. We have David with us again. We have a free intraday analysis by a professional trader. Here's how to get it. And he's giving some giveaways, so don't miss this. Well, this we said was the pattern with the early low. And on Monday, we should have the pattern with the early high. We said that this was a bullish pattern and we should trade higher unless we gapped and took out this low. Well, that turned out to be a real understatement, is we didn't take out that low and we certainly had a positive day. We said we didn't have to hit this 54.98.56 price, but it would be nice if we did it sometime. That's still true. I'm really not so certain that's going to happen. This is a support area based on the MEJT system, and coming close doesn't mean you have to print it. This was a major low back in 2011. We had a target of 1074.46. We came oh so close, within 31 cents. A year later, I mean, the market doesn't forget the numbers. We came close a year later. We never hit it, and we haven't seen this price again, and I don't think we're ever going to. So, coming close doesn't require we hit the number. Doesn't mean you won't, but you don't have to. We got an ultimate sell signal in the morning. That's enough to satisfy it. You usually get more than that, but you don't have to. We had this drop in the afternoon, and MEJT said it was false. We already retraced. I don't like this wall into the close. When you consolidate for a long period of time intraday and then have a rally in the last 10 minutes, it's not professional traders who are having the rally. I mean, they had all day to buy things with any price they wanted. They're not going to wait to the last 10 minutes and then buy. Certainly institutions aren't going to wait to the last 10 minutes on a Friday. And if that's the right interpretation, we're going to gap down Monday and undercut this low. And if that's the right interpretation, we're going to know before the open. I mean, we open up here, just forget everything I say, but this is a poorly timed rally, and Monday we should open down here, I think. Doesn't mean we're going to close lower. We've been saying for over a week that prices don't stay under this lower Bollinger Band very long. They're still under it, and it's still not going to stay there long. So even if we do drop Monday, we're due to recover. We had this possible wave count here. We said what I'd like to see is to see us go up a bit and then reverse and finish this count. But the count doesn't have to go to completion. I still think we're going to go up a bit, but we don't really have to go under this low if we go up high enough. We're going to take a closer look at how significant this low could be. Doesn't mean has to be. Well, that one we showed. Here's our long-term count. We said this could either be, we've completed wave magenta 1 and magenta 2. We've now either in magenta 3 with 1 and 2, or we have magenta 3 and 4. I'm going to suggest an alternate, which is we're still in magenta 3, but wave 1, instead of ending here, ends here. Let's look at the possibility of that happening. That would mean we've completed 2 of 3 right here. Well, here was the old count from the 13th of this month. There's nothing wrong with the count. It's a perfectly valid count, and it shows prices balancing out at 53.87.53. We originally said we could hit 55.39.81. That's undercutting it by too much for me. And that was our next price target, and everything fits. It's a beautiful count if we hit that price. But we always say it's not the only valid count. There are a number of other valid ways to count this. One is far more beautiful than the other. This is one way to count this. I mean, you could still have this as 2. We could have 3 and 4. You could just change this last wave. We have an ABC with good fibs. C is equal to twice A. That all works. You could still be finishing either 1 and 2 of magenta 3 or else magenta 4 right here without breaking any of the rules. The whole fly in the ointment has always been this rally for me. It just doesn't look like an impulsive wave, even though it doesn't break any rules. So what if that's not an impulsive wave? If you go to a smaller time frame, you can count this as an ABC. You can count this as an ABC, and all these fibs work. I mean, you've got on this last decline, ABC with C is twice A. You've got the clear 5 waves down, good fib ratios. But the real impressive stuff comes when you take a look at a longer term count. This is the same count with the A and the B and the C. We have magenta 1, magenta 2. We still have 1 of 3 in the first place, but now instead of counting this as an impulse, we're counting it as in blue an ABC. And if you look at blue here, blue A, there is a perfect fib ratio between the height of blue C and the height of blue A. I mean, this is 2.618 times that. So it certainly could be an ABC, and if that is an ABC, we've completed wave 2 of magenta 3, but that's not where the beauty stops. Wave 1 of an Elliott count often has a relationship with wave 1 of some degree of the next leg. It's not one of his rules, but I found it to be true. As you go further on, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't seem to work very well. But for wave 1, if you look at wave magenta 1 and wave magenta 1 here, 1 of 3, and you set this at 100, I mean, that's right at the 38.2%. But what's really interesting is when you look at magenta 2, and compare it what could be to 2 of magenta 3. I mean, you start here, that's the low, that's the high, I mean, it's a perfect fit. I mean, that could be an accident, but I'd like to think it's real. And if it's real, we could be completing 2 wave green, 2 of magenta 3 right here. I mean, it's a beautiful pattern if it works. Well, Monday's pattern has the early high regardless of where we open. I consider a long, narrow consolidation on the daily chart. We had that Friday to be a wave 4 of some degree unless proven otherwise. The late rally was poorly timed and shouldn't have represented institutional buying, and if that interpretation is correct, we should reverse promptly and preferably before Monday's open. Failing to follow through on the Friday rally is a bearish pattern for Monday's trade, and even if we reverse intraday and close higher, that's a negative pattern, if we don't follow through. Continue the rally and that kills the idea. We should know that before the open. We don't know that now. Longer term, for over a week, we've been saying sentiment indicators present are seen only at significant market lows. That's for sentiment. The timing of this week's low is within the window for Woodson's bottom date was within, that's based on Fibonacci. It was within 4 trading days. It was right at Norm Winsky's major change in trend date of this weekend. That's based on astrology, and right at the date of a friend of mine based on cycles. So we have 3 different systems based on 3 different methodologies, all saying this is a time for a change in trend. I really don't have everything I'd like to see at a great bottom yet. I'd like to see some backing and filling as well as a high volume rally within 7 days for confirmation. It's an IBD rule, and I don't care what Friday's pattern was. If there's no confirmation, it doesn't mean anything to me. But if we get follow through, there's a beautiful wave count, just gorgeous, present of this week's low holds. And that count says we've started wave 3 of multiple degree higher. So we're still in the sentiment area where you only see it at major lows. We have a beautiful wave count. We have the timing. I still think we're going to open down here Monday, although if I'm wrong, we'll know before the open, I think. This is another, we've had a number of candidates for a low here. This is a great candidate as long as this low holds. And if that holds, even if we start down Monday, we could be in wave 3 of multiple degree up and have a huge rally. I'm still looking for a challenge of 7,000 by the end of the year, and that's a target. It's not a stop and reverse. That's today's call.